Hello everybody, this is M2 and today I'm going to be showing you how I made this signature. It was going to be entered in a battle, but then I decided not to. So yeah, let me show you how I put it together and hopefully you can learn something new today. Okay, let's start. So I started off with this render, a Mass Effect render, quite a nice one. The art tends to be quite good in general, but so I placed it sort of centrally because that's where I decided to place it really. Then I took a wallpaper stock, and I placed it behind her. Took another piece of it again, put it behind her, erased parts, made it look like it was slightly more blended in. Then I added a C4D and I changed the color of it, but I merged the change color layer with the C4D layer, added some pieces from, I think this is from her leg or something. Anyway, I just added pieces of this render, cut them and put them on both sides, as you can see here. Then I added another piece of the render behind her here to cover up that dark area that really lacked any detail in it, and another C4D behind her. Now after that I decided I'd add my text. I either add my text really close to the beginning or right at the end, because if you add it in the beginning it's a lot easier to blend it in later on with the colours and the light and everything. But if you add it later on, then you don't have to worry about it while you're making your tag. So based on how good you are at blending text, it will differ between when you want to put your text in. But in this tag I put it in quite early, and as you can see I split it into two parts, the evil, and I put my name on top of that. No real special effects on the evil and the EV and the IL. I had a gradient overlay. Let me show you just a sec. On these two, you just double click to open up the layer style window, where you can sort of add strokes, gradient overlays and those sorts of bits and bobs. So I started out with a single color, then added a black and white gradient overlay on top of it. Just tick it and then click on the thing and then you can edit it, and then I reduce the opacity of it. And then I also added a stroke, a 1 pixel stroke, black, nothing big, but it helps to make it more visible. See, if I undo the stroke, you can't see some parts get a little bit blurred and not visible as much as before. So that's what I did with the EV and the IL. With the M2 text, with the M and the 2, I just put a black text and a white or a light blue stroke that I found somewhere on the piece, probably from the evil text, which again I found the colour from the piece. So I suggest always using colours from the piece when you're trying to put together your text. Next up, I added just a blue soft brush on linear dodge. I put this above the text but behind the render, so it's sort of lighting the background a little bit. Then added some bubble C4Ds, again both on linear dodge. Bubble C4Ds on linear dodge. If you want to see what they look like on normal, it's just zoomed out bubble C4Ds. So next, again, there was the render. I then added some blue, set it on color or hue, sorry, put it above her chest just to take away the orangey color. I don't know if you can see that well, but yeah, it's there. And added the C4D which I had behind in front of the render to blend her into the background. Yes, it's a her. And then another light spot, this time also on linear dodge. If you just want to see, it's just a soft brush of a light blue color. So that sort of creates our light source, which is quite easy to create in this piece because it's quite obvious where the light is coming from above. So yeah, sorry if my voice sounds a little bit cracky, I'm a bit sick now, but hopefully I'll get better and be able to do a clearer tutorial soon. Next up, again, just added some gradient maps. First one was the same light blue color to white, and I set it on multiply, I believe, yeah, reduce your opacity, and it kind of brings the colors together a bit. Next up, I added a purple, green, yellow gradient map, set it on normal and reduce the opacity to 15%, which kind of takes away a bit of contrast in the piece, which is useful. I then did some darkening, some burning, and then a sharpen layer. So I just did a sharpen over the whole thing and left it there. And it's good to make sure that your foreground is more sharp than your background, and as you'll see later, I then blur bits of the background. After that I add some light spots. I just some blue dots all over the place that highlight certain areas. And don't worry about different hues of blue because I later tie the colours together. Then I just keep this open so you can see what I'm adding. I add a orange photo filter at 42% density, then a purple and orange gradient map on soft light at 40%. Then I add a levels layer, and as you can see, levels layers, you just have to sort of play around with the sliders until you get something you like, really. Levels layer, another photo filter to kind of bring out the blue. It's a cooling filter, so as you can see, it really makes a difference to the colour. Next I added another photo filter, this time a green one. I chose the green colour I wanted, so it sort of gives it a more underwatery sort of blue look. Then a light purple to light yellow, a gradient map which also cuts down on a bit of the contrast. Again on multiply, reduce the opacity. Really with adjustment layers what you have to do is you just have to play around until you get a result you like. After that I added a curves layer. Curves, again, you just have to sort of play around with the position of the dots you put. So that would be too bright, so I sort of put it in like that. And yeah, there's nothing really that important to how you do that, but you just have to sort of play around with the layers, and if you get a good result then use it again. Another sharpen above this, and then a blur in the background. As you can see, I blurred it here, erased the parts that I didn't want blurred. I just did an apply image, and then I think I did a more blur on this one. Then I added my 1 or 2 pixel board, I think it's 2 here, it's a little thicker. Added another gradient map, a black and white gradient map on normal at 21%, sorry, 21%, and then a levels layer. Again, just played around with the sliders a bit, brightened it up a little bit in the middle ranges of darkness. Then took another layer, burnt a bit, and yeah, that's it. That was my evil tag. So I hope you learnt something new from this tutorial. If you have any questions, you can shoot me a PM or a note, and I'll get back to you, or you can just comment under this post and I'll try my best to answer the question. So yeah, if you're not on GFXR for some reason and someone has put this on another site, go check out gfxresource.com. We recently released our all new GFXR custom theme, which was made by Wishler, and yeah, the site's looking quite fresh now, so come check out what's going on here, because it's really cool. Yeah, so I'll see you guys next time. Bye!